friends. Welcome again to the Inner Sanctum. I'm Raymond, your host. Come in, won't you, and sit down? Well, very nice to see so many of you here. People who believe in black magic, haunting, and ghosts. Huh? Oh, you don't believe in them? Well, our story tonight is about some sailors who didn't believe in them either. But it didn't take them very long to find out that such things did exist, that they were wrong, dead wrong.
Inner Sanctum Mysteries brings you one of Broadway's and radio's best-known stars, Arthur Vinton. Tonight, Mr. Vinton appears as Captain Bates in Dead Reckoning, an original radio drama by Robert Newman. When you have that all-in, down-and-out feeling, you may be a victim of irregularity. Then you can help restore your usual pep and vigor by taking one or two Carter's Little Liver Pills with a glass of water when you go to bed tonight. Carter's Little Liver Pills help you feel better by providing remarkable two-way relief. Relief you cannot expect from a simple laxative alone. Here's what happens. First, Carter's Little Liver Pills wake up the flow of a vital digestive juice, and they do this usually within 30 minutes after taking. Second, they help restore regularity. It's this two-way relief that works so fast and so differently to help you feel up on your toes again. So don't go on feeling way below par when you can get this kind of relief with Carter's Little Liver Pills. Get a box from your druggist now, only 25 cents.
And now I think we're ready. Ready to begin as weird and eerie a tale as ever made a sailor wish he'd never seen salt water. A story of something that came out of the fog to drag men to death in watery graves. So, if your nerves are good and you're not afraid of nightmares, then turn down the lights and listen to Dead Reckoning. The great banks which lie off our eastern seaboard are perilous waters, shrouded throughout most of the year by heavy fog. Slipping through the thick gray pall, with fog on wailing like a lost soul, is a small tramp steamer. It is late afternoon. There are two men on the bridge. Suddenly, the door of the wheelhouse opens. Afternoon, Mr. Ross.
Good afternoon, Captain.
Weather still is pretty dirty, eh?
It's thicker than ever.
You got lookouts posted?
Just one man on the bow and one aloft.
Good. I've been sailing these waters for 20 years, and I'm never really happy till I'm off the bank.
I know, sir. Guess it's the fog. Never knowing what's ahead of you. What's likely to come out of it.
Something's ahead, sir. Just off the port bow. What? Where?
There it is, a schooner. It's almost dead ahead.
Put your helm over hard.
Hard over the distance.
He's still coming with... there, we'll just clear astern.
Another half minute, we'd have cut her in two. Ahoy, you lubbers! What in thunder's the matter with you? Why aren't you sounding a foghorn?
Something does seem to be the matter, sir. There's no one at the wheel.
Yes, you're right. No one at the wheel, no one on deck, and... Look there. A distress signal. You'd better look into this. Half speed astern.
Half speed astern, sir.
Half speed astern.
What do you think it is?
I don't know. But she looks to me as if she's been abandoned. Maybe you'd better lower a boat, Mr. Ross.
There is someone aboard it, sir. Look, just coming up from below.
Great Scott, he's dived overboard. He's swimming this way. Up forward, Mr. Ross, and heat my line. And when you get him on board, bring him up here.
Aye, aye. Here he is, Captain. Kind of rocky. Got banged up a bit before we can haul him on board.
Take it easy there.
I'm all right. Listen, Captain. Get away from here fast.
Get away? What about the schooner you jumped off? The rest of the crew?
Dead. Every last man.
Dead?
I'm the only one left alive.
Dead of what?
That thing got them. One after another. That gray thing from the sea. If I hadn't locked myself in the galley, it would
What are
have...
you talking about? Oh, I'm sure you'd better lower a boat. Take a look, see, Mr. Ross.
Aye, aye, sir.
No, no. No, you fools. Don't you realize that it's still there on the schooner? Do you want it to follow you back here, kill you off one by one, too? Don't you realize?
Oh, here, catch him off. All right, sir. I've got him. Good. All right, inside here to my cabin. All right. Put him in on my bunk here. Yes, sir. There we are. Poor devil. He was shot. Think he's out of his head, sir? I don't know. It might be all imagination. On the other hand, we should investigate. I'll take a boat over and see what I can see. Get boys, men. Let her run. Look around the stern.
There's her name, sir. The Sea Spray.
Uh-huh. Grab that line. Make it fast, Carson.
Aye, sir.
That's the ticket. Now hold it steady, man, while Garson and I climb on board.
Huh? You want me to come with you, sir?
Two of us will be able to search her that much more quickly. What are you afraid of?
I don't know, sir. I mean, nothing, sir.
Come on.
She's still got all her sails set, sir. And everything battened down, just as if there was nothing wrong.
Ahoy, anybody about? Ahoy! Well, let's go below.
What's the need of that, sir? If there was anybody down there, wouldn't they answer?
Suppose they're sick. Suppose it's the plague or something.
Well, okay, sir.
Everything's shipshape down here, too.
Clothes, duffel, still under all the bunks.
That must be the galley. Take a look in there, Garson.
Nothing in here either. Hot still on the stove like the cook had just been fixing supper. Couldn't have been a fire, sir.
No sign of it anywhere. Couldn't have been a leak. A crew taking her to the boat because they thought she was sinking. She's not riding as if she was waterlogged.
Let's get out of here, sir.
What's the hurry? What are you so jumpy about?
Jumpy? Who's jumpy? He's just a... Well, suppose I am. A crew don't abandon ship out in the middle of the banks for no reason.
No, that's true. They don't. I'd give plenty to know what that reason was. Well, okay, Garson, come on. Let's get back to the ship. Make sure the boat's in place and everything's stowed properly before we get on the way, man.
Right, sir, we will.
Oh, there you are, Mr. Ross. Well, what'd you find out? Nothing, sir.
Nothing? Now, what do you mean?
Just that, sir. We didn't find out a blessed thing. We looked her over from stem to stern. Everything was shipshape. There didn't seem to be a single reason why they should have abandoned her. But there wasn't a soul on board.
Strange. Mighty strange. Well, let's go inside and see if our friends come through yet.
Yes, sir. Hey, he's trying to sit up.
Oh, here, now let me help you. Yeah. Are you sure you're all right now?
Yes, sir. Sorry I keeled over. I guess I was in worse shape than I thought I was. I'm sorry I spoke to you like that.
Oh, now, forget it. What's your name?
Banning, sir. Joe Banning.
Banning, eh?
Excuse me, sir, but are we underway now?
Yeah, just got started. Why?
Well, it's the schooner we're away from. Then we're away from that cursed ship. The happier I'll be. You hadn't come along when you did. We'll have to spend one more night on board that ship.
Easy, Banning, easy. There's nothing to worry about now.
The world began 2 nights ago. We've been out on the bank. We were fishing. For about 3 weeks, Mother. We were just starting back to port when the water went funny.
Funny? How?
Turned salty and red. Red as blood.
Rust. Corrosion in your tank.
That's what we thought at the time. But that night, men started disappearing.
Disappearing?
Captain Bassett himself was the first. I left him at the wheel. I went below to get some grub. When I came back on deck, he was gone.
Gone?
Gone where?
We didn't know. We put about, went back looking for him. We never found him. Stevens, the mate, took over, took the next trick at the wheel. When it was time to change watches, we found that he was gone, too.
What are you getting at?
The truth. Well, we figured we could still make port even though we were short-handed. Anyway, we were pretty sure we'd be off the banks, out of the fog belt by morning. So that if we blew a distress signal, it'd be seen. But in the morning, there was still fog all around us. It was like we couldn't get away from it. And another man was gone.
Now, look here,
Now,
Benny.
just a second, Mr. Ross. Let him finish. And that's the way it went? One man after another disappearing with no way of telling where they'd gone or what had happened to them?
Not exactly, sir. 2 more men went that day. Another that night. That left only 2 of us, Ross and myself. We were near crazy by that time. Trying to stick together. But we had to have someone at the wheel and we had to eat. I went down to the galley to get some hardtack. While I was down there, I heard Larson scream. I went back to the bridge. There he was fighting with it.
What?
That's just it. I couldn't clearly see it. Larson let out that one yell. Then went backward over the rail. I stood there staring. And all of a sudden I felt something. Something soft and slimy trying to take hold of me. I dived back down into the galley. Slammed the door.
Wait a minute. You mean...
I mean, something had come out of the fog and boarded the schooner. Something you couldn't see. It got all the rest of the crew, and if you hadn't come along when you did, it would have gotten me, too.
Let's see. How long has it been since you had anything to eat, Fanning? Since you had any real rest?
About 2 days.
Well, now, suppose you see the cook. Have him give you something hot and then go forward and get some sleep, eh? We'll talk about this again in the morning.
You don't believe me, sir, do you? You think I'm out of my head?
Oh, now, Fanning. You run along, and like I said, we'll talk about this some more tomorrow, eh?
Yes, sir.
You don't believe him, do you, sir?
You mean you do?
Oh, I don't know. But I won't be sorry when we get off the banks out of this fog tomorrow. Good morning, Captain.
Morning, Mr. Ross. Well, good morning, Banning. So, you feel well enough today to stand a trick at the wheel, eh?
Yes, sir. I'm no deadhead. I don't mind working my passage.
Good. Fine. Had breakfast yet, Mr. Ross?
No, sir. The fog's still so thick, I thought I'd better stay on the bridge till you came topside. Funny thing, I thought we'd be clear of the banks by now.
Me too. Well, I asked the cook to bring some coffee up here to us. And later on, if the weather starts clearing, set it down here, cook.
Aye, aye, sir.
Anything the matter? What are you waiting for?
Just for you to try the coffee, sir.
Try it? What's wrong with it?
What is wrong with it? It tastes terrible. What did you put in it?
I didn't put anything in it, sir. It's the water. It's gone funny.
Funny?
Turned kind of red and queer looking. Captain, that's what happened on the sea spray just before.
Quiet, Banning. It's probably just rust, cook.
Is it, sir? Does rust taste salty?
I say it's rust. And I don't want you to mention this to the crew.
Very well, sir. So how are you going to keep him from finding it out for himself, sir? Oh, I almost forgot, sir. Sparks asked me to give you this.
Oh, yes, the radio check on our position. Check it with the chart, will you, Mr. Ross?
Yes, sir. Just finished taking the log reading and working it out, and that's... Great God. This doesn't make sense.
What doesn't?
Look here. Here's where I figured we should be, clear of the bank.
Well?
And here's our radio position, still in the middle of the bank. Right where we were yesterday.
What? But that's impossible. We've done a good 200 miles since yesterday. Of course, that's just by dead reckoning.
Dead reckoning. That's just what it is.
Fanning.
You fools, I warned you, but you didn't believe it. The water turning to blood, the ship sailing around and round in the fog, unable to get away. That's what happened on the sea spray. That's what's happening to us. Don't you realize what that means? That thing from the sea. It's here on board this ship.
the thing from the sea, the thing that can't be seen that came out of the fog and dragged an entire crew to its doom has taken possession of another ship. Will the same thing that happened to the Sea Spray happen again? In just a moment, we'll find out. Meanwhile,
don't sit back and envy the life of the party all that pep and ginger. You may suffer a headachy, sluggish feeling due to irregularity, but thousands of others do too. And many of them shake it off by taking Carter's Little Liver Pills. Try them tonight according to the directions on the package. Then tomorrow morning, see if you don't feel you can lick your weight in Wildcat. Here's the sound medical reason why Carter's Little Liver Pills are so effective. They can give you two-way relief for sluggishness, something you cannot expect from a simple laxative. First, Carter's Little Liver Pills wake up the flow of a vital digestive juice, and they start to do this usually within 30 minutes after taking. Second, they help restore regularity. It's this two-way relief that helps you feel better.
well, how are you feeling now? Have you had a chance to catch your breath, wipe the cold perspiration off your brows? Oh, what you've heard so far hasn't bothered you, huh? Wait. Just a moment later now, and the 3 men are still on the bridge. Standing at the wheel, Ross and Captain Bates staring at him incredulously.
I tell you, you're mad, Banning, out of your head.
So you still don't believe me, eh? Did the water turn into blood or not?
Of course it didn't. That's nonsense. It's just rust, corrosion in the tank.
And the fact that we're still in the same place you were yesterday after sailing for 24 hours?
Our figuring was just off, that's all. Dead reckoning's never completely accurate.
All right, Captain. That's the way you want it, fine. But I wonder what you're going to say when the men start disappearing.
Enough, Banning. Who else is on watch, Mr. Ross? Who's the lookout?
Ready, sir.
I'll go get him. Tell him to come up here and take Banning's place at the wheel.
Aye, sir.
Ready, ahoy there. Hey.
Now, as for you, Banning, you'd better get back to your bunk and lie down. Yes, you're sick. Mr. Ross should never let you stand a watch.
Oh, I'm sick, am I? It's all my imagination. Okay, Captain. Let's say you're right about the water. Our position. What about the sea spray? What happened to my shipmates, the rest of the crew?
I don't know, and I can't worry about that right now. That's something the Coast Guard will look into. But I'm not going to have you scaring the wits out of my crew. So if you say one more word about this to any
All
of
right,
them,
Captain. I won't. I've got a hunch I won't have to.
What do you mean?
Nothing except that.
Captain Smitty's not there. He's gone.
Gone? Gone where?
I don't know. He reported here at 8 bells, went up to the bow to relieve Blake. That's the last anyone saw of him.
You dumped McGelly, the forecastle?
No, sir. He must have dropped off to sleep or something. Fallen overboard.
Fallen overboard. That's what we thought on the sea spray when Captain Bassett disappeared. But he didn't fall. He was dragged overboard by that thing.
Will you shut up, Banning?
I won't shut up. What can I say to make you believe me? I said it was here on board this ship. It was going to get the rest of us, one by one, unless... There's only one thing to do. Take to the boat. Set fire to the ship and abandon it.
What? No, I know you're mad. Get up forward and stay there.
All right, Captain. I'll go. But remember, I warned you. Anything that happens from now on is on your conscience.
Six bells and all's well. Keep where she goes, Garson. South-southwest. Aye, sir. South-southwest.
Blasted fog. So thick as ever. Can't see a ship's length ahead.
No, sir. Begging your pardon, sir. Yes? Shouldn't we be off the banks out of the fog by now? I know, Garson. We evidently made a mistake in our reckoning. According to the radio compass bearing we got this morning, we're still around the middle of the banks. Won't be clear until tomorrow. I see, sir.
Oh, by the way, Garson, what are the men saying about Smitty disappearing that way?
Why, nothing, sir. Except...
Yes?
Well, sir, they can't understand how he could have fallen overboard with the sea so calm. And then there's this here business of the water turning funny. They're feeling kind of jumpy about that, too. Yeah, well, what's that?
Looks like a small craft fishing boat. There she is off the starboard. Sailing parallel to us.
A schooner. Who's up at the bows? Look out.
Blake, sir.
Well, what's the matter with him? Is he asleep? Why didn't he sing out when he saw her?
I don't know, sir.
Captain Bates.
I thought I told you to stay below, Benny.
You did, but that's Schooner. Do you recognize her?
Recognize her? She does look familiar, but... Great Scott! It's the sea spray.
What? Can't be. We left it drifting a good 200 miles from here.
You only think you left.
Besides, when we left her yesterday, she was deserted. But now, she just sounded a foghorn. There are men aboard her. You can see them.
Yes, men. But what kind of men? Look at them through your glass, Mr. Ross.
That's just what I'm doing.
Good Lord.
Their faces. They're all green, bloated, swollen. Why, they look as if they were dead.
Look. They are dead. Drowned men come back out of the sea, sailing on and on through the fog, following us and waiting until...
One more word out of you, Benny, and I'll put you in irons. Give me that glass, Mr. Ross.
Too late, sir. The schooner is gone.
Well, come on aboard with me and let's see what's wrong with Blake.
Yes.
I'm coming, too. Me, too.
Now, what's that? You're on watch, Gardner. Stay at the wheel.
He'll stay on course. If anything has happened to Blake, I want to know it. And the rest of the crew will want to know it, too.
Well, all right, then. Come on.
I don't like this, sir. We may be in trouble if Garson won't take orders.
Yeah, I have a hunch we're all getting jumpy out of hand. It's all right. There's Blake leaning against the rail.
Blake? Look again.
It's not Blake. It's Smitty. And look at him, sir. He's dead.
Springing wet and with seaweed in his hair. He was drowned, but he came back from the sea just like my mates on the sea spray.
Blast you, Fanning.
I warned you, but you wouldn't listen. Now will you abandon ship, take to the boat?
Now, I've had enough of this. Enough of you and your warnings. Grab him, Carson, Mr. Ross.
I won't go through it again. I can't. Having one man after another go over the side track to his captain. I'm knowing that sooner or later.
Fanning, no! He went overboard. Wait, that's it. If he's rather commit suicide and stay on board this ship, we're not going to stay either. Come on, men. The boat. We're abandoning ship.
What? You can't do that.
Who's going to stop us?
We are. Quick, Mr. Ross. The guns in my cabin.
Guns, is it? No, you don't. Stay, men. I'll take Bates here. Leave him there in the hatch. If this blasted ship means so much, we'll let him free on it. We'll take him to the boat.
Captain Bates.
Oh, yeah. Why, what happened?
Don't you remember? The man, after Banning jumped overboard, he went crazy.
Yes. I remember that. They swarmed all over us. Where did they really go? Abandoned ship?
Every last man. We're all alone, just the two of us.
Help me up, will you, Mr. Ross? I'm still a little shaky. Of course. There you are.
They didn't take the life raft, sir. We could probably get one of them over the side and...
You mean you want to abandon ship, too?
Well, not exactly, but after all, the two of us couldn't get her into port.
Is that the reason, or is it because you're afraid? Because you're starting to believe in that thing from the sea also?
About half and half, sir. I mean, well, after all, everything that's happened so far, finding the sea spray deserted, Smitty and Blake disappearing, then Smitty coming back, drowned.
Very well, Mr. Ross. I'll help you launch a life raft, and if you like, you can go. But I'm staying with my ship.
Well, in that case, I'll stay with you, sir.
Good man. I kind of thought you would.
What's our first move?
Up to the radio room. We'll send out an SOS. Ask for help.
Right, sir. Even if you do think there's some explanation for everything that's happened, the ship is kind of spooky now, isn't it? Fog. Everything's so quiet, dead, like... What's that?
Engine room telegraph. Someone rang for half speed ahead. Why, we're moving, getting underway.
But who? There's no one on board but the two of us.
Maybe one of the engineers didn't go. Stayed below.
No one stayed, I tell you. No one. There's just the two of us on board and...
Foghorn. So, Ross, I don't like this.
You don't like it,
Someone's coming. They're heading to the bridge. Can you see who or what?
Yes.
Banning. It can't be. He jumped overboard. He's dead. Yes, Smitty was dead, too, but he came back and... Where are you going? I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to see if a corpse can fight back. Captain, wait, I go. Look out, Captain, he's got a gun. I've got it. Well, oh, you're not dead, Banning. And it was you that was behind all this. I don't know what you mean. No, you listen to me, Banning. 2 of my men have been killed. The rest of them are out there in that park place. Either you talk, tell me what you were up to, how you did it, or I'll let you have it right between the eyes. You wouldn't dare. Oh, I wouldn't, eh? Give me that gun, Ross.
No, don't. All right, I'll tell you. It wasn't me that was behind it. It was Abner Dean.
Abner Dean?
Yes. He thought up this idea. Scaring a crew into abandoning ship, then picking it up and claiming salvage.
Salvage? Oh, of course. Why didn't I think of that? How did it work? There wasn't anybody on the sea spray when I boarded her.
Of course not. As soon as we spotted you, Dean and the rest of the crew got into the dory, pulled away into the fog until after you searched the schooner. Meanwhile, I had 2 jobs to do. Acting from the binnacle to throw your compass off so you'd sail in a circle. And drop a chemical into the water tanks that would turn the water red.
And what about Smitty and Blake?
I killed him. I dropped Smitty's body over the side with a rope tied to it so I could haul it up again. Hit Blake when it came out.
Are you cold-blooded murdering?
Listen.
Fog's on and it sounds
It's the sea spray. They're cruising around waiting for me to pick them up. And there they are. Get ahead.
Well, we'll have Ross. Hurry, we're heading straight for him. If we don't get her up, we'll hit him.
Please, run them down. Do you think?
Yes. I'm afraid so, Ben. The propellers must have gotten those that didn't go down with the schooner. But maybe it's better that way. They say that drowning's easier than hanging, as you'll probably find out for yourself.
Yeah, what's that? You knew there was no such thing all the time? Of course you did. But just the same, if I were you, I wouldn't try to stand up just yet. With your knees knocking together like that, you might find it a bit difficult, huh? But I do hope you enjoyed tonight's story. Glad to be with us again next week at this same time. And if in the meantime you should happen to take an ocean trip, and if while you're out you should run into heavy weather, and while you're standing alone on the deck at night, something should reach out of the darkness and grab hold of you. But don't worry. It won't be the thing from the sea. It'll just be one of the other passengers trying to find his way to the rail. Oh, yes. If you haven't done so, be sure to read this month's Inner Sanctum mystery, Footsteps Behind Her, by Mitchell Wilson.
Will you wake up tomorrow morning feeling chipper and spry? Or will you crawl out of bed with that sluggish, headachy, what's-the-use feeling due to irregularity? Well, try this. Just before you go to bed tonight, take 1 or 2 Carter's Little Liver Pills with a glass of water. Then see if tomorrow morning isn't rosy and bright. See if your usual pep and cheerfulness aren't back. There's a sound medical reason why Carter's bring you these remarkable results. Carter's Little Liver Pills provide 2-way relief. Relief you cannot expect from a simple laxative alone. First, they wake up the flow of a vital digestive juice. And they start to do this usually within 30 minutes after taking. Second, they help restore regularity. It's this 2-way relief that helps you feel better so fast and so differently.
Good night. Pleasant dreams, huh?
This is the Blue Network.